Good morning. It's December the 7th today, and welcome to today's calendar. I'm sorry about the noise, it's the heater of this van. It's the first time I'm doing this in this van, and I'm really excited about it because today it's time for another episode of Fine Art Review. Um, I think it should be rebranded to like Landscape Art Review, but I plan to do something that's not landscape in the future. So um, I haven't forgotten about the idea, even though I haven't uploaded it in quite a while, but it was a lot of fun to do. I, you know what? Never mind. Let's get to it. Fine art review. Today we are looking at a painter called Joaquim Mir, which is a Catalan painter, Catalan landscape painter mainly. And for all of you at the Barcelona Academy of Art, I'm sure you know who he is. If you don't know who he is, you aren't paying enough attention. You should be aware of who it is. Um, but all right, here we go. Oh shit, man, this is insane. This is the first time I'm seeing this painting, and like I'm curious, is this actually a mirror? Let's check. Well, it says it looks like his signature. I can't say that it says mirror, but it is indeed his signature. This is a very different one in comparison to a lot of his other paintings, I feel like. Um, it's oh, yeah, it's different. It's very like abstract expressionism over it. Like it's a lot of thick paint up here, you know. Um, Looking at this, it's just insane. It looks like an odd Nerdrum palette type of deal. It's just the texture is insane, but I love that it's still like uh, some of that also rough type of juke textured uh, canvas he's painting on. The texture of that still remains there. You can see that in certain drier brush strokes, which is absolutely fantastic. To think that this chaos is actually making sense from the distance, that's also it's yeah, I think that's so impressive. I'm kind of jealous because I feel like I'm here fine-tuning things, painting like smooth and still quick and generalizing, but I would like to go here, man. That would be so nice to just fucking go for it, you know, not be so careful, not care too much about it. That's great. This is also classic for me. These type of colors, I'm automatically thinking Gerard Castelli and Joaquim Mir. I admit it. Gerard is the modern day Joaquim Mir. Yeah. I'm not even joking. But yeah, these colors right here in the shade, um, these sort of broken greens and blues that are really cold. Same with the like cold red and oranges and the purples. Um, it's clear that this is in the shade, and you have these really warm brownish yellow, beige kind of brushstrokes showing the change of light. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look at this and sort of take it in a little bit. Just this like dappled light here, and then he's like his classic dots. You know, he's so it's not prolific. It's not the word I'm looking for. He's so um, he's a showman, yeah. And he has like this identity within his painting, like these, especially these balls. Like you see in any Mir painting, you see these type of dots coming in somehow, you know. But look at these, like these abstract shapes here. Is it shadow on whatever this tree is? Is it part of this guess it's an olive tree or something. Um, Probably, maybe not. Is it part of those leaves in the shade? It's difficult to tell. So I mean, the light effect in here is and resembles a realistic and impressionistic light effect, but it is also somewhat off. But it's an interesting story. Joaquim was, without saying that he was off, he did struggle with like mental illness for a long period of time of his career. He produced some absolutely incredible work, and you can actually see like the work that he's done afterwards, because he went to an institution and became better. The work he's done after that is almost anticlimactic. It's like, it's dangerous, this profession, and I think a lot of times we sort of romanticize this idea. I know I've talked about it before, which is also very, very dangerous. Romanticizing addiction or mental illness within the artistic community, but it is also an insight into those type of personalities, those type of minds that are unique in so many ways, and on quite an extreme level. But yeah, and it's so much. It's just like, it's pure chaos. I don't know when this was painted. If it was painted like pre-illness or post-illness, or I don't think it's in the middle of the illness. I would probably say it's later before that maybe, but it's like a process thing. You look at his paintings, you can see how it's changed gradually. I don't know so much about the history of him. This is, I'm retelling what I've been told by Catalan painters. But he had this. You could almost see gradually his painting style changing and like morphing into his state of mental illness, I suppose, with this distorted realities that still works in accordance with like realistic painting in terms of like values and colors, and like the lighting is still spot on, but you can see that there's a distorted sense to his way of perceiving reality, definitely. And I'm not sure, this feels different. Like, this really doesn't look like one of his typical paintings. I wonder where this is. If anybody of you, Gerard, I'm talking to you as well, like if you know this painting and you know where it is and you know the story behind it, please let me know, because it would be interesting to know. But yeah, I mean, you can see it's cool because he's like taking it so far. He's perfected the understanding of those like basic concepts, right? The sky and the clouds and the atmospheric perspective, and you know, colors in that sense, and the warm and cold greens and blah blah blah, you know. And then just doing that really, really simple, and then just going crazy over here. I love it. It feels like but also a change, like also a gradual change almost, from the sky and the distant view here, going down into the painting, into the shade, following these branches, and you can see like it's turning more and more abstract and expressionistic, but especially in the tree, like up in the corner, that's where he like took off completely, you know. But you still like, you have that still. You still have like the distant mountain in the horizon behind the tree, you know, and the clear blue sky. So it's a fantastic combination, really. Like the contrast of this like realistic and abstract type of painting, which is something that you can see in a lot of modern realistic painting as well. It's like a fusion between abstract and realistic. Not necessarily as expressionistic as this, but yeah, it's cool. I feel like I'm not talking about the painting too much, because it's so much, and I don't really know how to analyze it, but I love looking at it. gives me a sense of like calmness within a chaos. You know, it's. I look at the tree and I'm almost overwhelmed, and then I look at the sky and I feel at home. You know, it's has both of those effects, and you can sort of I can sort of play with the branch, like I can always go back and forth and sort of as a path between the chaos and the organization. Really, you know, you can still wander between that, and it's a good idea in that sense, like conceptually, because if you ever try to paint a tree, you know, this close as well, and I'm assuming this size is based on like the texture of the canvas, it's quite big. Maybe yeah, the signature isn't that big. Maybe around a meter and a half in width and a meter high, maybe slightly bigger. But if you've ever tried to paint one of those trees, you know at this distance it's just too much information. Like, how do you even convey that whatsoever? It's in a realistic sense, it's too much to handle for anyone. I think you'd have to be a special type of person to do that, and maybe paint from photo as well in studio. I don't think you'd do it on plein air really, but Mir did a lot of these on plein air. I think most of it. I don't know how much he like retouched them in studio and stuff like that, but obviously because he's painting at the time where the camera wasn't like popularized. Um, I'm assuming he painted most of it on plein air, but did retouches in studio. But definitely like definitely it's multi-sessional paintings. You know, you don't get. I don't think you get these type of mixtures. You know, in these type of textures, these type of mixed textures on a alla prima painting. Like, you can see that it's painted on top of certain textures that takes forever to dry. So because it's oil, so it's definitely done over a longer period of time, which is cool. Just this sky, like, it just went nuts, and then it looks like, oh shit, I need more sky. I'll paint the sky on top of the texture. Like, I love it in many ways when you can almost, like, you understand that it's painted, right? You understand the idea that I had the tree, but I also need sky. I just put sky on top. It almost looks like flat. It almost looks unrealistic in a way, but it's just one of those elements that describes that this is a painting. Like, I'm not trying to reproduce reality to its finest details, because it is an impossible task. I'll settle for it being a painting, and this is the sky. You know, it's a lovely comment on on a balance between reality and painting, I think. And he did it, and you see it in a lot of modern plein air works as well. It's nice, man. I'm curious really about the painting, because I can imagine it almost feels like, because it's so different to many of his other paintings, I feel like maybe it is a painting where he just painted on for a year or two, who knows, like throughout different seasons, just applying paint that was spare from his palette, or something like that, you know, at a place where he stayed, or at a place where he lived, or had a studio, or something like that. But absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. He has a tendency to hide like figures in his paintings. I can't really see any figures here. I thought this for a second was, and maybe this was, but not really. If you don't know Joaquim Mir, definitely look him up. You'll see what I mean when I talk about these oranges and these green, broken blues and greens and purples and the cold colors. You'll definitely find them. It's very Spanish in his color expression in general, or Catalan. I'm sorry to all the Catalan painters out there. But definitely in his expression, you'll see similarities to like Sorolla and Lucignol and stuff like that in color choices. But he still has like such a unique painter, it's ridiculous. Like there's no one that paints like him at all, I feel like. Some that are similar, but it's so different. And at the time when no one was painting like this as well. So definitely check him out. Thank you for watching this fine art review, and I hope to do one in the near future as well. If you do have any recommendations, I have some recommendations already, but I would love some more recommendations from you guys, especially landscape paintings. Yeah. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.